Big news is brewing in the AFC North. News that could reshape the entire landscape of the division and impact the Browns' path to their long-awaited Super Bowl run. We're talking about a seismic shift that might leave one of Cleveland's biggest rivals scrambling for years to come. And you're hearing it here first. But before we dive deep, if you're a diehard Browns supporter, hit that subscribe button to fuel this incredible community. Let's show our unity and passion. Let's help each other hit that 1,000 subscriber milestone. Share this with your friends and fellow Dog Pound loyalists, and let's get fired up. Now, let's get to the breaking news. If you've been following the Browns closely this season, you know the energy in Cleveland is palpable. Under head coach Kevin Stefanski, this team has demonstrated resilience and an unmistakable drive to climb the ladder towards true Super Bowl contention. But what's making headlines lately isn't just the usual offseason chatter. It's a pivotal update that could send shockwaves through the entire AFC North, potentially altering the competitive balance of the league for years to come. Cleveland entered this season with sky-high expectations, especially after last season's near miss. Fans and analysts alike believed the Browns had assembled a roster poised for a deep playoff run. Defensively, led by superstars like Myles, Garrett, and Denzel Ward, the unit has been stout, while the offense, commanded by quarterback Deshaun Watson, has shown flashes of brilliance. But as any seasoned fan knows, football is a game of inches. And sometimes it's the smallest details that define success. Enter one of the most intriguing storylines of the offseasons: the addition of dynamic young quarterback Shedeur Sanders, son of the legendary Deion Sanders. Shedeur, who made waves in college football at Jackson State in Colorado, is drawing attention for his arm talent, football IQ, and natural leadership. Browns fans everywhere are eager to see if he can become a future NFL star. And here's where things get especially compelling. Recent updates from Cleveland's coaching staff, particularly from head coach Kevin Stefanski, suggest that Shedeur's progress is not just hype, but a reality unfolding faster than many predicted. During recent OTA sessions and mini camps, Stefanski has openly lauded Shedeur's work ethic, his knack for absorbing complex playbooks, and his composure under pressure. This isn't just coach speak. It's a strong indication that the Browns view Shedeur as a legitimate piece of their long-term puzzle. The staff sees him as both a developmental project and a potential competitor for playing time sooner rather than later. That's huge news for Browns Nation because it points to a future where Cleveland might have a dynamic dual-threat quarterback room. Deshaun Watson, the established leader, and Shedeur Sanders, the rising star. The AFC North is already one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL. The Bengals with Joe Burrow have been a force. The Ravens, led by Lamar Jackson, bring a dynamic offense and stingy defense. And the Steelers under Mike Tomlin are always a threat. For Cleveland to seize its moment, the team needs to be strategic, innovative, and unafraid to harness emerging talent like Shedeur Sanders. So what does this mean for the Browns' immediate future? If Shedeur keeps progressing at the pace we're seeing, it could mean several things. First, Cleveland might be positioning itself with a contingency plan. If Deshaun Watson struggles or gets injured, they'll have a talented young quarterback ready to step in. That's a game changer, giving the Browns flexibility and a competitive edge. Second, it could shape how Stefanski deploys his offense, possibly leaning on the run game and defense while gradually integrating Shedeur into the mix to keep opposing defenses on their toes. And let's not underestimate the division implications. If Shedeur Sanders proves himself as a legitimate NFL starter, it will force the Bengals and Ravens to elevate their own games. The AFC North, already known for its physicality and intensity, could become even more of a pressure cooker, with Cleveland introducing a new dimension at quarterback. For Browns fans, the stakes are enormous. This passionate fan base has endured years of highs and lows, but now there's a renewed sense of hope. It's not just about chasing a single season of success. It's about building a sustainable, competitive powerhouse for years to come. To nurture this young quarterback, integrate him seamlessly into the system, and create a culture of excellence. Looking at the bigger picture, Cleveland's roster is stacked with talent, particularly on defense. Myles Garrett remains one of the league's most feared pass rushers, while Denzel Ward's shutdown skills give the secondary a formidable presence. The offensive line has been rock solid, giving Deshaun Watson time to operate. And even though Nick Chubb's injury lingers, his past contributions remind everyone that Cleveland's run game, when healthy, can dominate. But in today's quarterback-centric NFL, the teams that groom young signal callers effectively are often the ones that achieve long-term success. And while Deshaun Watson is still the leader of this team, his experience, leadership, and undeniable talent, he knows the pressure is on to perform at the highest level, especially with the expectations that come with a fan base as passionate as the Browns. If Shedeur Sanders keeps developing, it could create healthy competition that elevates everyone's game. That's exactly the environment a successful team needs in the NFL's cutthroat landscape. Let's talk numbers. Last season, Cleveland's defense ranked among the league's best in points allowed and sacks, thanks to Garrett's relentless pressure and a cohesive secondary. Offensively, the team flashed brilliance at times, but struggled with consistency, particularly at quarterback. That's why Shedeur's emergence as a potential star is so exhilarating. It adds a new, unpredictable layer to the offense that opponents will have to account for. Heading into this season, expectations are high but measured. Browns fans know how quickly fortunes can shift in this league. A single injury or a string of close losses can swing an entire season. But with Shedeur Sanders' rapid development, there's a renewed sense of optimism that Cleveland is building something special. The coaching staff's emphasis on player development, coupled with the team's deep talent pool and the AFC North's fierce competition, sets the stage for a truly intriguing year. Now, Dog Pound Nation, it's your turn. What's your take on Shedeur Sanders? Do you believe he's ready to make an impact sooner rather than later? How do you see him fitting into this team's blueprint? Are you excited about quarterback competition that could elevate the entire roster? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters. Let's show the world that Browns fans are the most passionate, knowledgeable, and engaged in the NFL. This journey isn't just about wins and losses. It's about unity, loyalty, and passion. Thanks for being part of the ride. Breaking news: the chatter among fans has reached a fever pitch lately, and I'm here to unravel it all for you. But before we dive in, smash that like button so you never miss a beat. Now, something is brewing in Beret, and it's not just about who's going to take that first snap under center this fall. Right at the heart of the Cleveland Browns training facility, one of the NFL's most esteemed veterans, Joel Bitonio, found himself at a pivotal crossroads this offseason. For the first time in his storied career, the 10-year stalwart openly acknowledged contemplating retirement. A man who's been the backbone of this franchise. A 5-time Pro Bowler and a bedrock in the offensive trenches, Bitonio's potential departure would have sent shockwaves throughout the league, but what ultimately anchored him in Cleveland? The answer is multifaceted, and perhaps more revealing than fans might anticipate. Bitonio didn't just wake up one morning doubting his love for the game. No, this was a genuine period of introspection. He spent weeks at home in the quiet aftermath of a 3-14 campaign deep in thought. Then came the heartfelt conversations with his wife about his body, about the team, about the future. I can still compete at an elite level, he concluded. Yet it wasn't just about physical readiness. It was about emotional commitment. Could he envision himself battling once more with this team? That question lingered until he heard the organization's plans. Bitonio needed clarity. What direction was the franchise headed in? What was the identity of the Cleveland Browns going to be? That's where meetings with general manager Andrew Berry and head coach Kevin Stefanski became pivotal. These weren't sugar-coated pep talks. Bitonio didn't crave empty motivation. He demanded substance. And Berry and Stefanski delivered. They unveiled a vision, a return to Stefanski's classic offensive scheme, a back-to-basics approach that had previously borne fruit. But it wasn't just X's and O's. A critical turning point emerged when Bitonio was introduced to new offensive line coach Mike Bloomgren. This wasn't just any hire. Bloomgren, who spent the past 7 years as the head coach at Rice, came highly recommended by none other than former Browns O-line guru Bill Callahan. Last season's scars were still raw. Callahan's departure to Tennessee had left a gaping hole in the offensive line room. His replacement, Andy Dickerson, simply couldn't replicate the magic. Regression followed. A quiet shift took place mid-season as Dickerson was gradually sidelined by assistant Roy Isvan, and eventually Mike Vrabel was brought in as a consultant. The message was unmistakable. A seismic change was necessary. Enter Bloomgren. To Bitonio, Bloomgren wasn't just another coach. He was a throwback, a detail-obsessed, no-nonsense leader. He's a true O-line coach, Bitonio emphasized. He gets in the trenches with us. Sometimes the O-line coach has to be a doc, and you need that. There was genuine respect in his voice, a recognition that this was the kind of leadership the line needed to reclaim its identity. The chemistry between Bitonio and Bloomgren was instantaneous. They met over dinner, discussing football philosophy, mindset, everything. For Bitonio, who had anchored elite offensive lines before, that connection was vital. In Bloomgren, he saw a roadmap, a reason to believe the Browns could resurrect the dominance they once wielded in the trenches. That's why Bitonio spoke about returning to the 2020 and 2021 offensive installs with a sense of revival, outside zone runs, power schemes, a playbook tailored to exploit the strengths of their personnel. It suits us so much better, he explained. He wasn't just thinking of himself. He was thinking of Jack Conklin, Wyatt Teller, Ethan Posick, veterans who've thrived in the scheme and understand the grind. If Bitonio's words prove prophetic, the Browns could be on the brink of a season where the offensive line, often overlooked as the bedrock of any team, emerges as their most formidable weapon once again. Now, shifting from the trenches to the quarterbacks, the other electrifying storyline igniting Cleveland is the wild, unprecedented four-man battle for QB. Dillon Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett. It sounds like the setup to a football riddle, but it's all too real and the stakes couldn't be higher. Gabriel, a third-round pick out of Oregon, arrived with a resume that screams adaptability. He's played at UCF, Oklahoma, and Oregon, securing the starting role at each stop. He's weathered every challenge and is thriving under the NFL's relentless pressure during rookie minicamp. Autos, Gabriel has already showcased his hallmark arm strength and remarkable precision, but beyond that, he's demonstrating rapid adaptation to the complexities of NFL playbooks. Intricate language, huddle communication, and pre-snap reads. Commanding the huddle is no small feat, especially for someone transitioning from college systems that lean heavily on visual signals and clap cadences. Gabriel credits his time at Oregon, particularly working with Coach Dan Lanning and OC Will Stein, for preparing him well. It was there he became accustomed to coach-to-player communication, a relatively new NCAA innovation, and experience now proving invaluable. He described the adjustment as akin to mastering a foreign language. Each word carries a vivid picture. Now that he's internalizing it, everything is starting to click. Gabriel's poised demeanor and football acumen are catching the eyes of coaches and teammates alike, but so is his infectious personality. Teammates are gravitating toward his upbeat attitude and competitive fire. Even Shedeur Sanders couldn't resist acknowledging him. Cool guy, he called him. Speaking of Shedeur Sanders, let's set the record straight. This kid is more than just Deion's son. He's making it abundantly clear in the locker room that he's his own man. Criticized during the draft process for perceived entitlement, Sanders is flipping that script in Cleveland. In a viral moment, he was spotted voluntarily organizing Joe Flacco's locker. If Flacco told me to do this every day, I'd do it. Sanders said, "It's respect. You feel me? This wasn't mere locker room protocol. It was a statement." Sanders is showing that he respects the hierarchy and understands the team dynamic. It's earning him respect inside the facility and reshaping perceptions outside of it. He's fiercely competitive, no doubt, but also self-aware and humble. And he's got Kevin Stefanski's attention. Now, Browns fans, I want to hear from you. How do you feel about Joel Bitonio's return and the fiery leadership he's bringing back to the offensive line room? Are you excited about Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders shaking up the quarterback competition? Drop your thoughts below. While the Browns' offensive trenches are returning to their physical, hard-nosed roots, the quarterback room is forging an entirely new chapter in Cleveland's football saga. Kevin Stefanski's blueprint is simple yet profound. Get Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders as many reps as possible, no snap wasted, every OTA rep and minicamp drill a chance to evaluate, to develop, to determine who truly deserves to step onto the field at First Energy Stadium this fall. But here's the beauty of it. It's these rookies aren't tearing each other down. There's respect, mutual curiosity, and a willingness to learn from one another and from the seasoned veterans who've been down this path before. As Stefanski himself put it, they're sponges in the meeting room. That's not just Coach A speak. It's genuine enthusiasm. While the media might be obsessed with stirring up drama, Stefanski sees something different. A quarterback room filled with young men eager to grow, to absorb every bit of knowledge, to hone their craft. Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Deshaun Watson each bring a unique brand of experience, and the rookies are soaking it all up. And then came another viral moment, a choreographed handshake between Shedeur Sanders and rookie defensive end Aiden Huntington. Simple, perhaps, but it screams camaraderie, unity, a sign that this locker room isn't fracturing, it's forging bonds one handshake at a time. It's not just about identifying a starter, it's about setting a tone, building a culture. And if these early glimpses from Oteas are any indication, the 2025 Browns could be one of the most captivating teams to watch in the entire NFL. Now it's your turn, Dog Pound. Smash that like button, subscribe for exclusive Browns content, and let us know in the comments who you want to see as Cubone and what your expectations are for the season. Let's go, Browns!